Have you ever managed to completely switch off from work whilst on holiday? Well, join me on the 7-day trip that I took with my family to find out if I could do just that. So my family and I went away to Greece in Crete for 7 days. It was our first time really at an all-inclusive resort. And I had set myself the challenge before going that I wasn't going to do any work whilst away. I have 2 kids, a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and my husband, and we had discussed that we were going to try and be fully present and really enjoy this trip. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the steps that I took to try and be present, what we did on our holiday, and whether or not I actually achieved my goal of being completely present and doing no work at all. So that's the mission, no work at all on this trip. And the reason for this is I've had a super busy year and I wanted to just rest and switch off. Like, I feel like my mind has been doing so much work, so much overtime. And I thought that actually what better excuse than having a holiday to manage to be able to accurately switch off. All the books I've been reading talks about the importance of rest to increase your productivity and to improve your outcomes on the other side. And I wanted to know what that truly felt like. And what better way than to use this trip to do so? So the steps that I took pre-holiday to try and achieve this was to switch off all email notifications. That was work and personal in emails, to try and clear my calendar before and slightly after the trip so that I wouldn't be forced to start working early. And because I started YouTube and I've been trying to post weekly, the plan was to post and schedule my video prior to leaving on holiday so that I wouldn't have to engage with that whilst away. And last but not least was to decide whether or not to leave my laptop or take it with me. And so for this last point, I spoke to my sister and a friend, and they both gave me conflicting advice. So my sister managed to do a 1-month complete detox from work. And when I was like, but why did you have your laptop? She said she was using it to watch shows. So I was like, okay, cool. Maybe that's a good reason to take my laptop in case I wanted to watch any shows that my husband didn't want to watch. And my other friend was like, definitely don't take it so that you can completely switch off. And I'd worked really hard to sort of clear my deadlines beforehand. So in actual fact, there would have been no reason to take the laptop. But I took it anyway because I thought, you know what? I might want to watch a show. Just have it there, and whilst it's there, have it away in the bag most of the time unless I desperately needed it. And then as a family, what we felt, this is actually my husband's idea, was if we planned out the day whilst we were there enough, then you would just leave little space and wiggle room to actually get work done. And I think that was probably the most effective, because when you're busy having fun, scheduled fun in a way, then you don't really have recourse to go and pick up your laptop and start trying to do deep work. And that was really, really insightful. So I'll just give you a little bit about our holiday. It was 7 days, all inclusive, in a beach resort. It was close to Hersonissos, and half an hour away from Heraklion. And like I said, the resort itself had a water park, it had multiple pools, it had a private beach. They had a really good animation schedule, which meant that most evenings it was mini disco followed by a show of some sort, followed by a quiz or dance or drinks. And it meant that we were all sleeping quite late and waking up quite late, having breakfast. And because it was all inclusive, we could eat absolutely whenever we wanted to, and I gained some kilos and I don't care. Like, it was such a good break. And because we were like, oh, pool today, beach tomorrow, water park, it meant that we were really most of the time outside of our room. And because I didn't have the email notifications on, I didn't quite manage to not check my emails at all. It just meant that I checked them less. But actually what I did do is I didn't respond to any. But that's just as bad, because actually once you see an email, it goes into your head and it distracts you. But that's besides the point. I'm going to give myself grace on that one. And it just meant that there was no avenue really for work. The plus side of my husband taking his laptop is that his phone broke with 2 days to go, and given the nature of his job, he is a doctor but he works in sports, it meant that he needed to be reachable at least towards the end of the trip, and it was really good for him to have his laptop for that purpose. We had 2 days out of the resort, so one to Heraklion, to this absolutely gorgeous restaurant, which I will link down below because it was actually so nice, and if you're ever in the area, I do recommend that you check it out. And then we did another day in Chersonesos, and that was to sort of do souvenir shopping, go for a walk and see the sights as well. And a few of those videos I'll intersperse into this video so you can kind of see what we got up to. So the mighty question, did I manage to survive for 7 days without any work? I did not. And I'm going to talk through where my downfalls happened and what I will do next time to avoid that. So the first downfall was not scheduling my YouTube video before we went away. I had really tried to and get that done, but because my upload days like Wednesdays or Thursdays, it meant that I didn't quite get it done. So I woke up I think our first day there, so the Wednesday, I woke up really early, got the edits out the way, and then posted the video. Unfortunately, it wasn't just posting the video. I then went on to check the YouTube Studio app, which I will have another video about, and that wasn't really peaceful, and it did cause distraction, and so much so that my daughter noticed and was like, oh, how's the video doing? The next thing I did, which is a fail before I'd even started, was that I'd agreed to have a meeting. I know, how dumb of me. But it was due to be 9:30 UK time, PM, and at 11:30 Greece time, I was like, oh, it's just before bed, who cares? The kids won't notice, they'll be asleep. And I would have ordinarily been asleep by that time anyway. So I had a meeting at that day. It didn't really give me any extra work to do whilst away, but it's not something I should have done, because again, I was like, oh, we need to leave this activity quicker than planned. I think we were doing bingo that night, and anyway, I was like, we need to leave slightly earlier just so I can get back in time for this meeting. So it was a bit disruptive, although it wasn't mentally taxing. And then the last thing that I really regret not doing was taking a non-fiction novel. I feel like that was another downfall. So I would find that I would have moments by the beach, by the pool, when my husband was in the pool or the sea with the girls, and my mind would wander, and it was wandering non-stop, thinking about work, thinking about the to-do list, questioning my ability to do it all, questioning my ability to succeed on YouTube, questioning my ability to succeed at work, and endless thought processes. And an effective way to shut that up would have been to just get lost in a book, or maybe even just to journal to get it all out of my mind and then carry on. But because this was like endless and I didn't really have an effective way to manage that, to like force my mind to rest, I ended up listening to a book, and it was on my read list, but it wasn't fiction, and the book was 10x is easier than 2x, and I really enjoyed the book. I'm still listening to it, and I felt like just engaging with a business, self-help, productivity / improve your business type book just gave me more mental work. So like I would find that my husband and I would then be talking to him about points that I've learned in the book. Yeah, it's always good to revisit your goals, but sometimes on holiday just chill, and I really felt that it stopped me from chilling, and I wish I had just engaged in more frivolous, either a frivolous book or maybe just listen to a frivolous podcast, I don't know. But listening to that book then kind of gave me itchy feet to get back home and start working, which again wasn't the point of the trip. So all in all, I would say I achieved about 75% of relaxation, and maybe the next time I will do all the steps that I did before. I actually don't think taking my laptop was that big a distraction, because I actually managed to not do any work. I didn't respond to any emails. I did have one meeting that wasn't really that great, but I would say like my biggest mental downfall in achieving complete relaxation was listening to a workbook. I should have just taken a nice fiction and gotten lost in that. I should have maybe watched a few more shows, although like I said, our days were so packed, I didn't have tons of time to do nothing, or maybe just like slept and focused on the blue skies and the clear seas. And that's just something I'm going to have to learn, to like truly switch my mind off, because although you can like do all the physical stuff to stop you getting distracted with work, the mental stuff is a little bit harder. So I want to know, if you've got any holidays coming up or have been on holiday recently, have you managed to switch off completely? And if you have, I want to know the tips and tricks down below. Drop them in the comments, please. I think it's really useful in this day and age where there's like constant stimulation to find ways to switch off. I'm still learning how to do that, and I want to learn from you how you've managed to do that. I will have some more holidays coming up, and I will aim to do that again because I do think it's the way to go. But yeah, if you like this video and if you like content like this, please let me know in the comments below. Please like the video, please subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you in my next one. Peace.